UFC Vegas 84. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. The first weigh-in recap show of 2024. Looking forward to getting into it. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. And also note, I will be live for the entire UFC Vegas 84 fight card Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss the fight companion. Let's get into the first fight of the night. Flyweights going after it. You can already see Joshua Van on the scale. He's fighting Felipe Bunes. I'm picking Van to get the win. I got to go with the youth. I got to go with the speed advantage in the stand-up, the explosiveness edge in the striking. I feel like it's going to be hard for Bunes to secure control in the grappling positions, where that, to me, is how I feel he wins, if he's to win. I don't think he's gonna. I feel like Van is too athletic and explosive. He's going to be able to strike with Bunes, close the gap, and touch him up with good shots. Van has not gotten that UFC finish yet, but I do think he has the punching power and boxing skill set where he could sleep a guy like Bunes, who is 34, making his UFC debut at flyweight. That's not a good sign at all. I'm picking Van. I'm going to say decision, though. I'm not going to stray against my initial call. Now, let's check these guys out on the scales. We'll look at the face-off. There is Van. There is Bunes. Both guys are in shape. Van's got more of a sparkle on him, though. He's got something good going. Then we got a face-off between the two. Note that Bunes does train with the Pitbull brothers, and he has sparred with the likes of like Davis and Figueiredo and whatnot. So he's seen high-level looks. He's older by 12 years than Joshua Van. I'm going to go with youth, though. I think that Van can pull this off. He's a real good prospect, and I also am just not overly impressed by Bunes. Like, he's got decent striking, he's got decent grappling, but he doesn't seem super quick, explosive, or powerful, and is honestly just not impressive. So I got to pick the side of the guy who impresses me more, which is Van. Now, he's a bit of a favorite, minus 260, and Van did come in on like somewhat short notice because it was initially Bunes and Dennis Bondar to fight. Bunes plus 220. Now, for a flyweight fight, to see over 2.5 at plus 120 is kind of nuts here. I definitely think it's live to go over. I'm thinking Van by decision. Now, if he goes out and get a knockout, you might be kicking yourself if then you threw it all down on the over, but it's flyweight. Van KO plus 200, and Bunes is most likely method of victory if he is to win, plus 375 for his sub line there. I mean, he is a long guy. He's taller than Van. I just see him having a hard time controlling that short, stocky, quick, and explosive frame that Joshua Van has. So give me Van all day. I'm going with him. I think he beats Bunes in this fight. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we got Tom Nolan, Nicolas Motta. It's Tom Nolan by first round knockout. If that doesn't happen, I will be shocked because Motta is a guy that puts himself into the fire. Now, we have seen shorter striker, knockout, taller striker. A while ago, last year, Ashmoos, Sam Patterson, similar height difference. But Ashmoos, I don't think is as defensively horrible as Nicolas Motta is. To me, Motta's head is just there to be hit too much. It's like a Muay Thai style with his head just sitting right there to be absolutely ripped apart. He throws hard, but those hard shots will put him out of position and then open up shots for Nolan. I think Nolan's killing him. First round knockout. He should snipe him. It should not be competitive. Motta might land a couple hard punches, but then he's going to get rocked, stopped, and fight over. Now, Nolan on the side is young. Note that. Very young. 23. But he's got a big height and reach advantage. 6'3" to 5'9", 76-inch reach to 70.5. We'll check them out on the scales, and you'll see that height difference as they face off. There's Tom Nolan for a 6'3", 55er. He doesn't look like sickly skinny. And then there's Motta. He looks like Motta does, kind of like pork chop. And then there's the face-off. Yeah, big height and reach advantage. I think Nolan is able to snipe out Motta, and I really feel like Nolan could be a problem at this weight class if he's durable enough to take a good shot. Sometimes the taller guys got the glass jaws, and if he's able to get a sick knockout here, fun prospect at lightweight. As tall as he is, that's dangerous for everybody. Like Jalen Turner's 6'3". That's crazy. Minus 350, Tom Nolan. Plus 285, Nicolas Motta. The under 1.5 is minus 285. It's probably going under 1.5. I'm predicting first round knockout. Money line's damn wide. Nolan by KO is minus 190. That's not great. It's not good, actually. Not great is an overstatement there. Plus 100 for a first round knockout, I think's got a good chance of hitting. I think we're getting a first round KO for Nolan. Almost said for Motta. No, but I didn't jinx it. Okay? It's going the way of Nolan. Knockout. Easy work. Easy money smash the guy. This should be one-way traffic. I don't see this as a close fight. I don't think Nicolas Motta is that good. Next fight on the card, we got Westin Wilson versus Gene Silva. Wonder Boys, you know, slightly downs, brother. No, I don't want to shit on Wilson too much. I'm giving him a hard time. I'm roasting him a little. But he's not UFC caliber, okay? Teruto Ishihara slept him 4 fights ago or 5 fights ago. It was not that long ago, though, a year and a half ago. And Ishihara sleeping you in the 2020s? And now you're fighting Gene Silva, 11-2 Brazilian striker from the Fighting Nerds team? I think Silva's going to knock him out. Now, the odds totally agree. The odds are disgusting in this fight. We'll get to the odds in a sec. But let's check out, let's check out the team here. The runt of the Wonder Boy litter. Well, first we got Gene Silva. There he is. Dude. Westin Wilson looks like a crack addict. That's funny as shit. Wilson, he's funny, man. He's funny. I'm trying not to shit on him too hard because I recognize he's got good karate. Like 100%, I see how he's winning fights on the regional scene. He's long and tall. But when you take on a Brazilian savage like Gene Silva, I'm sorry, bro, but the karate style's getting squashed. This ain't Wonder Boy clone out here. There's the face off. See the big height difference. The Pinocchio nose on Wilson, too. He got that long nose. Yeah, we're going for the side of Silva for the win. He's getting it done. All right, looking at the lines here, Wilson is plus 600 with Silva at minus 900. It's a hideous line. It's terrible. And I feel like looking at the knockout prop for Silva, minus 200 there, it's horrible too. Now, first round KO, I think is possible for Silva in this fight. That's minus 110. But if you wait till the second round, you can find it at plus 500. As long as Wilson is, like I can see him landing strikes early, and then when Silva finds the range, he starts getting some hammers gone. I'm telling you, like Westin Wilson reminds me almost of the Beverly Hills Ninja, Jordan Wright, where he can unload some offense, but he's going to get stung and stopped. And he's almost 35 too. It's minus 900 for a reason. Silva for the win. Not a close fight. Next fight on the card, Farid Basharat versus Taylor Lapilus. I've been picking Farid Basharat. I think he beats Lapilus, which is a shame though, because why are we not focused on giving Lapilus favorable matchups and building him as a French prospect? Because he's a bantamweight that has decent enough skills. When they go to France, you have him on a main card, it's going to sell out. But instead, we're fighting at the Apex against a Las Vegas native, Basharat. I think Basharat 30-27, unanimous decision. I think he can outstrike and outgrapple Lapilus. Now, I know Lapilus is very experienced and he's got a great record, 19-3. Basharat, I think, moves to 12-0. I believe in him as a prospect. I got him winning this thing. I don't think Taylor Lapilus is taking him out. I can't see it. I just simply cannot see it. There is Taylor Lapilus. Okay? There is Basharat on the scale. Finger up to the sky saying, let's get it. That's a decent little face-off. I don't know. I'm kind of more excited for the fight. The face-off, the weigh-in, there was really nothing interesting about it that is worth noting in this fight. There's nothing going to change of how these guys looked on the scales. They're on weight. They're shredded. They're ready to fight. Basharat, I think, can land takedowns. I think he can outstrike them. I think Basharat's skills are going to be on display. He's a good prospect, man. Minus 280 for Basharat with Lapilus at plus 240. Looking at Basharat to win by a decision, which is my official prediction in the fight. It's minus 150. It's ugly. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 245. I think it's probably going over. Basharat should get it on the cards. I know he got a finish against Clayton Rodriguez, but Lapilus a little bit of a different level than Clayton Rodriguez. But with Basharat, the win over Damon Blackshear has aged beautifully because Blackshear was real competitive with Mario Bautista, who's on the main card fighting Ricky Simón, and Basharat can out-grapple him. I think Basharat can out-grapple Lapilus. Lapilus last time, he fought mini Brock Lesnar, Dwarf Brock, Kalarin Loran, and, you know, he won the fight cleanly, but he was backed up against the cage and held a little bit and threatened with wrestling. Basharat can take him down. Basharat for the win all day. Next fight on the card, let's keep running. We have Marcus McGhee versus Gaston Bolaños. I'm picking Marcus McGhee by submission, so he better attempt to get this fight to the floor. Bolaños is a kickboxer by trade. I mean, he was a pro. He's got solid stand-up. It's just his ground game looks quite mid. Quite mid, to say the least. I really don't think he's impressive on the ground at all. I know Marcus McGhee only has one win by submission, and interestingly enough, it was his UFC debut against Journey Newsom. But I do think he could out-grapple a Bolaños here and win by sub on the ground. I'm going with Marcus McGhee to pull this one out by submission. I know he's not a submission ace, but I think he's smart enough training at MMA Lab to have a good game plan, implement striking and then landing takedowns and threatening with grappling to beat a guy like Bolaños. I see McGhee winning. He should definitely pull it off. Too much of a grappling advantage. There is Bolaños, who slick, confident, has got a cool look to him here. Cool look to him for a guy winning a competitive decision with Aaron Phillips. Then we got Marcus McGhee, who kind of looks like E.T. with a goatee. And then you got the face-off. Both guys pretty similar size and stature, shredded out, good shapes, like what we expected from both. Should be an interesting clash, man. If McGhee goes out there and just tries to strike, that's where he could find himself in trouble with a guy like Bolaños. But I think he's smart enough not to. Minus 223 McGhee, plus 188 Bolaños. I'm riding with McGhee to win. Under 2.5 is minus 185. McGhee by sub, plus 200. Bolaños by decision, plus 600. You know, if McGhee shits the bed, I could see Bolaños beating him on the judges' scorecards. Pure degeneracy. I'm picking McGhee to win. Not a money line that I'm interested at minus 223. McGhee, though, by submission, I do think is pretty live. So we'll go with Marcus McGhee to pull this one out. I'll say that he goes out and, you know, gets it to the ground at some point with some stand-up moments and even competitiveness because he's slick on the feet. And just because you're a pro kickboxer doesn't mean you're going to smash all these MMA guys in striking. We've seen that plenty of times. Alex Pereira and Adesanya aside, for the most part. Yeah, McGhee by sub. Next fight on the card, Matt Semelsberger versus Preston Parsons. I'm picking Preston Parsons. I think he can outwork Semelsberger with some takedowns, grappling pressure, hard-fought, back-and-forth, competitive decision in this fight. Semelsberger's got decent stand-up, but sometimes I feel like he doesn't pull the trigger fast enough. He's not the quickest guy on the feet, and he's not, you know, the best guy on the ground. Preston Parsons is neither top tier at anything either, but I feel like he keeps a better pace. I feel like he'll be in Semelsberger's face, and I think in the grappling, he's going to be a lot stronger. So I'm going Preston Parsons to win in this fight here. Now, as far as the scales between these two guys, let's check them out. Preston Parsons looks pretty jacked, man. He's in good shape. I mean, 1-2 in the UFC, good win over Evan Elder, competitive fight with Trevin Giles. Dude, Matt Semelsberger just doesn't look happy to be there. Like, he looks angry, actually. Holy shit. The shaved head Semelsberger, though, without the long hair, a lot less, like, dorky looking and more like absolute cold-blooded killer looking. A lot more alpha with the shaved head. I got to give it to Semelsberger. That's worrisome. Shaved head Semelsberger might be a mythical fighter now, especially if he knocks out Parsons in the first round. I don't think he will, though. There's the face-off. I'll say Parsons on a close decision. It's a competitive fight. It's a bit of a coin flip. Also note Semelsberger is coming in somewhat short notice, replacing Basil Hafez. Minus 104 for Parsons, minus 116 Semelsberger. It's a coin flip as expected. Over 1.5, -155. Looking at Parsons by decision, +325. I do think he wins a competitive decision. I do think we go over 1.5, which is -155. I think that's actually a great tag for an over 1.5. It's been making a ton of sense to me all week. So over 1.5, decent little play, maybe a parlay piece too. We'll talk about the parlays at the end. I'm going with Preston Parsons to win a close fight. Next fight, featured prelim of the night. It's Andrei Arlovski versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta. I'm picking Waldo. Where's Waldo? KO. He should sleep Andrei Arlovski, I believe. The boxing of Waldo's is pretty good, and he's coming into his own. He got a finish against Lucas Drezhki last time. I predicted that he would finish Drezhki and get, a knockout streak going. He's getting some comfortability getting finishes. Waldo has fought as a pro boxer, too. Not a great record in boxing, 6-4, but still 10 pro fights. You look on the other side, Pitbull Arlovski has been fighting in the UFC since 2000. He's 44, nearly 45. That is crazy. That is crazy. Over 40 fights in the UFC. That's nuts to me. He's been around since, the dawn of the organization really taken off. That's insane. I think Where's Waldo knocks him out, though. Arlovski, though, I'll tell you, when we look at the scales, it's surprising. And we'll look at it in 1 second. We first have Waldo. He looks kind of fat, though. Waldo looks thick boyed out. Waldo looks big boy. What's the weight here? 261. He's big. I think he's carrying more power with that 260 frame, though. Hopefully he doesn't slow him too down, you know what I'm saying? He looks like he's been drinking some fucking beers, man. He's been eating good on the holiday season. That's why he came in so heavy. And then we got Pitbull Arlovski. You know what? He doesn't really look much older than he has the past 5 years. He looks about the same. But I do think the chin is worse than ever before. And I think Waldo's knocking him unconscious. There's the face-off. Arlovski coming off a knockout loss to Don'Tale Mayes. That don't age well. If Mayes is sleeping you, that don't age well. I know Mayes is a big boy, but still. Yeah, Where's Waldo's the call. I found the -750. Hideous. Hideous line, but a confident pick. Knockout for Where's Waldo. -180. I think it happens. Unfortunately, the money line would be more of a long shot parlay. You got to lay the heavy chalk at a -180 for a knockout. I do feel like a knockout's likely, though. I think Waldo's probably going to chin Arlovski. Let's see. What's first round knockout? +170 with second round at +400. I think it's live in the first or second. Depends how quick Waldo gets going. Yeah, Waldo's the pick all day. He should win the fight, but he's a hideous wide favorite. It is what it is. He's the call. He's a confident call. He's going to sleep Arlovski, the OG. Next fight brings us to our main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's Phil Hawes versus Bruno Ferreira. I have surprised people with this pick because I'm going with the more skilled guy in Phil Hawes. But unfortunately, his chin, about as hard as this. Now, I don't know, man. If he doesn't get fucking cracked hard, though, might not go unconscious. I think he could sleep Bruno Ferreira. I think Phil Hawes is faster and more slick in the stand-up, and he is the better wrestler. Ferreira is a tough brawler, brings good pressure, throws powerful punches, has decent ground skills. But Phil Hawes can pull this one out. I believe in him. I don't know. I think he's going to do it. I feel like we're looking at Bruno Ferreira, but what has he proven? That he can land a clean shot on Gregory Rodriguez, who's Russian and wild, and then Nursultan Rizibov kills him in one shot? I know Phil Hawes is coming off back-to-back knockout losses, but Ikram Aliaskarov, top tier. Roman Dolidze, top tier. So they're not horrible losses. Chris Curtis knocked him out. Him and Chris Curtis, you look at how the fight was going, Hawes was whooping Chris Curtis up until he got cracked. So when Hawes is on point, he's nasty. He just doesn't have good durability. I'm going to say here, though, he sleeps Bruno Ferreira. Let's check these guys out on the scales. Let's look. There is Bruno Ferreira. He just looks weird in this picture. I don't know. I don't know who it reminds me of. I don't know. Reminiscent somewhat of like Strega Nonna. I don't know if you ever read that book as a kid. I don't know. He just looks kind of grandmother-like. And then you look on the opposite side, Phil Hawes with the blonde hair. He ain't Blonde Brunson, okay? Excuse me. Still fighting this cold. I'm getting better, though. I'm getting a lot better. But I think Phil Hawes is going to pull this one out. I'm picking him. There's a face-off. To me, Bruno Ferreira on this side profile, like, he looks like he could easily be fighting at 170. I'm calling a Phil Hawes win. I'm riding with them. Let's get it. Let's see it. Let's see him pull it off. Odds for the fight. Hawes plus 114. I'm going dog. Ferreira minus 134. Over 1.5 plus 199. Damn, it's expected to go quick. It probably does. But could you imagine Hawes wins a decision? Plus 650. With a Hawes KO at plus 185 and Ferreira's knockout at plus 125. I'm picking Hawes by KO officially, but you imagine he goes out, lands takedowns, outworks Ferreira for 3 rounds, plus 650 decision. I mean, crazier shit has happened. Hawes the pick. We're riding with him. We're going Phil Hawes for the win. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card, we have Ricky Simón versus Mario Bautista. I'm picking Ricky Simón. I think he can win a competitive 3-rounder. I think Simon's definitely faster in the striking than Bautista. I'd say Bautista's a little bit better from distance, but like not way better, and definitely doesn't have the speed or the distance management to like keep Simón off of him. In the wrestling, I'd say it's close and competitive, but I think Simon's like faster with his shots and might scramble better and transition faster on the ground, which I think comes in handy, especially in the boxing range too. I think Simón can touch up Bautista a bit. So I'm going to ride with Ricky Simón to win. I'm going to say he pulls this one out on the judges' scorecards in fairly competitive fashion. Bautista had a real competitive win over Damon Blackshear last time out. Ricky Simón, fight before. I mean, yeah, he got beat by Song Yadong, stopped in the 5th round, but Song is top caliber. Bautista is looking to get a shot into that top 15. Simón, I think he holds the gate. I think he keeps it shut. I'm going Ricky Simón for the win. One more cough I got to let out. Woo. Woo. Let's check out the scales. Even though they won't necessarily mean much with this fight here. Mario Bautista. In good shape. Fucking ready. Ricky Simón. Ready to fucking rock too. Both guys jack shredded. As you expect though for bantamweights. Face off there. Bautista a little taller. I'm picking Ricky Simón on a hard fought 3-rounder. Hard fought 3. He pulls it off by decision. Simón is minus 175. Bautista plus 150. I do think we're going over 2.5, which is minus 200. And I think that Simón to win by decision plus 140. I think it happens. That's what I'm calling. We're going with Ricky Simón decision win in this fight here. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card, we have Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benítez. I'm picking Jim Miller, lock of the week. I've been locking him since Monday. I think Jim Miller is on a perfect course to fight at UFC 300. And Benítez is not shutting that shit down. I think Miller can hurt Benítez on the feet. I think the striking of Miller with the hands specifically favors him. The kicks, Benítez got some nasty kicks. I just don't see him just kicking apart Jim Miller at this point. And when we go to the ground, I think Jim Miller's better with jiu-jitsu, and I think Jim Miller's going to be the stronger guy. Even though Miller is 40 and older than Benítez, I think he's less far removed from his prime. I mean, 4-1 in the last 5. Knockout, submission, and knockout. He's sleeping a lot of people. I think he could sleep Benítez. I'm calling knockout. Now, I think sub or knockout is live, so I've said during the week, I like inside distance here for Jim Miller, but he's a confident call. Lock of the week. I'm calling him. Let's check out the scales. We got Mowgli Benítez, and we got Jim Miller, who honestly looks half asleep in this. I don't know. I know he has Lyme disease. He was kicking in this picture. Now, probably just, a bad snapshot. His eyes were maybe shutting, or he was just opening them from blinking. Let's hope. Then we got the face-off between these two. I'm going Jim Miller for the finish. Lock of the week. No straying away from my confident call. Odds are minus 149 for Jim Miller. Gabriel Benítez, plus 129. Jim Miller. We got to go with him. Come on. Let's go, Jim. Let's go, Jim Miller. He was a dog initially when I first picked him over a month ago. Now he's become a bit of a favorite here. Miller inside of the distance, sitting at now just plus 135. The line was a lot better earlier in the week. Miller to win by a knockout is plus 275, which a sub at plus 375. Both are live methods of victory. That's why I like inside distance best, but you lose that juicy plus on it. But you want to win or you want to risk it all? Decision is yours. I'll officially call a knockout though, but club and sub isn't crazy. Jim Miller to pull it off. I got him here. Let's get this. Lock of the week, Jim Miller. Let's get 2024 started with the bang. Let's keep running up. Co-main event of the evening was canceled. Matheus Nicolau, Manel Kape. What happens? I don't know. Manel Kape coming in 3.5 pounds over at 129.5. Then the fight gets agreed upon and then it ends up getting cut from the card. It ain't happening. Kape claims he was sick for a couple weeks and on antibiotics and he couldn't train, whatnot. But I do want to bring up the scales for these two. Just for a quick note, okay? Let's look at the scales. There is Manel Kape, who honestly looked less muscular than normal and kind of seemed weathered down. And then you have Matheus Nicolau, whose picture is just round of applause worthy. I think this is the funniest weigh-in picture of all time. Look at the teeth in this. That's fucking hilarious. You know who he looks exactly like? Sid from Ice Age. Are you kidding me? This is him. This is him forever now. Sid from Ice Age is 100% a doppelganger for Matheus Nicolau. I can't get it out of my head after seeing this shit. I had to bring it up. So we had to talk about this matchup for a moment. Now, unfortunately, every bet on this fight voided. If you were on Sid, he was a dog. Kape obviously was a favorite. Doesn't matter. Bets off. Fights off. Part of the game. It happens sometimes. It's unfortunate, though, because I was interested in a high-stakes flyweight fight that would have determined if Kape to win, probably the next challenger for the belt. Like, looking at how Royval and Moreno, too, is shaping up. And, Pantoja having 2 wins over Royval and freaking 3 wins over Moreno. This was a clear number 1 contender fight for flyweight, specifically if Kape was to win. Can't make the weight. Fight is off. Is what it is. But we move forth to the main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker 2. Woo! I'm picking Magomed Ankalaev, and it saddens me. I feel upset. I feel depressed. I'm down. I'm sorry that I'm giving you guys a Magomed Ankalaev pick. I wish that I could be picking Johnny Walker. I've been sending prayers out to the MMA gods for a Johnny Walker victory. We'll send one right here. MMA gods, please lead Johnny Walker into the path of victory, a knockout win, and a fight against Alex Pereira at UFC 300. That's what we want. Shout out to the MMA gods. Hopefully they're listening. But in all honesty, Ankalaev is technically better, and you look at the first fight, I think the momentum was shifting in his favor before the illegal knee, and I think Ankalaev probably wears down a Johnny Walker, either finishes him by TKO on the ground or gets a 5-round decision on him, and then he's next in line for the title, which does not sell at all and probably isn't a UFC 300 main event. I'm hoping Walker knocks him out in the first round. That's not the pick, though. The pick is logical, okay? The fan-sided call in the heart is Johnny Walker. I respect you guys who somehow mentally are seeing Johnny Walker, and I hope you guys are right. I do. But I don't think so, man. Sadly. Very sadly. All right, let's look at these guys. Fucking Ankalaev looks 240p. There he is. There it is. It finally loads. He looks like a crow, as he always does. A good fighting crow. Johnny Walker looks absolutely psychotic, which I love to see. And then there's the face-off. These guys run it back with smiles on their faces. Ankalaev's the call, man. I do think he wins. Shit. I'm sorry, guys. I'm picking Ankalaev. But I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that the first main event of 2024, I'm way off. Because as a fan, Walker winning is tremendous. Let's look at the odds. Minus 550, Ankalaev. Walker plus 400. Bro, come on. Come on. Like Walker by KO, I am going to touch because I have to, somewhat support my manifestation and prayer to the MMA gods. Plus 650. Knockout. If it happens, I'll be jumping up and down with joy on the live stream. So make sure you watch that Fight Companion. And if it doesn't happen, I get my pick right. I get Ankalaev. I hit it off, starting a main event streak for 2024. So I guess in a sense, it's a win-win. But yeah, I'll be disappointed if Johnny Walker loses. But I really think he's going to lose. Ankalaev probably going over 1.5, minus 175. I think Ankalaev finishes him in the second or third, maybe even with ground and pound. I think the wrestling will be a factor in the fight. He might even get a submission of a Johnny Walker that's getting worn out by Magomed Ankalaev. Submission win for Ankalaev, plus 750. Holy shit. Ankalaev decision is minus 210. And then Ankalaev... knockout minus 210, decision plus 475. I've been thinking ground and pound stoppages live, but like that submission at plus 750 on the Ankalaev side. I guess we're going degeneracy. Ankalaev sub deserves a little sprinkle with the Walker KO, a little sprinkle, and then Ankalaev goes out, TKOs him. It's minus 210. I wouldn't have played it anyways. If he decisions, though, you got plus 475. Not a bad tag either, and a decision's possible. Walker's been the 5 rounds and lost before. Unfortunately, I'm picking Ankalaev. I'm not going to pick with my heart. I'm going to pick with my head. I'm going Ankalaev for the win. But yes, I will be 100% rooting for Johnny Walker, and I will gladly take an L on this pick. Guys, we're not done just yet. We got to jump to the parlay section and talk about some post-weigh-in parlays. So after seeing everybody on the scales, what is my current thought process looking like? Where am I at? Who do I want to include? All right. I think Basharat should be a pretty clean winner, okay? I think Where's Waldo, pretty clean winner. Yes, the line sucks. I'm not done yet. Jim Miller should be a pretty clean winner. Now you got plus 167. Another leg to it, Ricky Simón, plus 316. Over 1.5 in this Preston Parsons fight, plus 593. Adding in the Tom Nolan line, plus 815. Van Bunes, fucking Van straight, minus what? No, excuse me, he's minus 245, but it brings you to plus 1188. Now, if you want to mix some dog action in, not Mr. Dog Hunter this card. I mean, I might hit with 2 dogs, though. I'd be pretty hype. Phil Hawes to win with Jim Miller. Little main card savagery, plus 274. With the Parsons over 1.5, which makes a lot of sense. Plus 523. I think this one could end up being a heavy hitter for you guys. You just want to be a sick fuck and just throw Johnny Walker in to get plus 3,000. Marcus McGhee should win, but I don't know. He could end up being a buster. I mean, anybody could end up being a fucking parlay buster. It's the damn UFC. But ultimately, I feel like I got some pretty quality picks this week. I feel like I'm on point with these calls. Ricky Simón, bada bang, bada boom. Like, if you wanted to, too, and you don't want to play like Ricky Simón in your lineup, but you want to have a piece from his fight, over 2.5 in the Simón fight with over 1.5 in the Parsons fight, dude. It's a quality play. Plus 162. I really feel like this hits. So this is an over, double over, really, that I think hits. I think this is a good one to send it off with, too. Be cautious with your bets. Be cautious with your parlays. If you want to degenerate things up, obviously you can. 2-3 fighter parlays if you want your highest likelihood of success. But the lottery tickets are what get people excited because we're looking for big plus money. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the first of 2024 weigh-in recap show. It was a lot of fun for me. I love the weigh-in recap show. I got daily content on the channel. For the people that don't know, but you've been watching this weigh-in show, maybe you haven't checked out some of the other content. I'm doing daily live streams on top of the per usual content schedule, and I'm emerging in the MMA news space pretty substantially too, because my recent Ngannou versus Joshua reaction video, 47,000 views, over 47,000 views, and I dropped it a few days ago. So keep your eyes locked in on the channel. I'm excited as hell for big things in 2024 with a lot of content coming. And my plan is to get this members started for you guys. I want to start a members only live stream, and then with, some of the live streams, specifically my Monday pre-money line live, I might have to put that as like on demand for the members, because I don't want to flood that algorithm with too many live streams back to back. Hey, keep your eyes locked in right here at MMA Experts. If you aren't subscribed, why haven't you? Make sure you subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and don't leave them on personalized. Put them on all so you don't miss a video or a live stream. Content coming consistently. Smash the likes. Let me know what you thought of the picks in the comments down below. And if you have nothing to say in the comments, but you enjoy the content, as always, drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.